In Creo Parametric, the Options Modeler module supports a configure-to-order manufacturing strategy. I've used this data set in a few videos, and I want to show you how I would actually create this configurable motorbike. Not the whole thing, but just some of the modules in here and how to kick off the product. First, this one starts off with the motor module. I would start off with the frame. So let's do that. I'm going to click on the new button and let's change the type to assembly. And then we're going to change the subtype to configurable module. Here's the default name. I like to start off my modules with the word module. That way I can easily search for them, find them, locate them. And this is going to be the module for the frame, so I will call it that. Here's the option to use the default template. In the Creo Parametric load point, you have a number of templates provided to you. But templates really aren't important. If you take a look in the model tree over here, I can go to my filters. I've got everything turned on, and we don't even have default datum planes because they're largely unnecessary. Let's start by bringing in the components that we are going to have. There is an icon that allows you to create a module variant, but you're probably going to create your parts and assemblies in those standard Creo Parametric modes. Let's use the Add Module Variant button to locate what we want. And let's see, I'm going to change the name here to frame because I know it's a frame component that I want. And the first one, let's grab this particular part. I'll just double click on it. And here we can see the frame. You'll notice that you automatically get it in an exploded state. I'll talk more about that in a moment. When this component is brought in, it's brought in with a fixed constraint. Let me expand the model tree. Here we have the placement folder. There you can see the fix. I prefer to have the default constraint, which is probably what it's using, but I just like to make sure. So I will use the mini toolbar to edit definition. Yeah, it says it requires an unexploded assembly. Let's confirm. And let's take care of this fix. Right click and delete, and then change to default and hit the check mark. So there we have the first component located in here. I'm just going to orient it the way that I want. So this is towards the front of the bike. This is towards the rear. Next, let's bring in our second component. Let's click on Add Module Variant and let's change to assembly. Let's use the search. I know it's a frame that I want. Frame main. Let me click the open button. And once again, it gets placed in just a fixed location. Again, you can expand and then take a look in the placement folder. There's the fix. Let's click on it and then edit definition. And again, we've got our fixed constraint. Let's right click on here and delete. Let me turn on the display of my 3D dragger and I can position it sort of the way that I want. I actually kind of like to assemble it because when I bring it in, I want these components in the configurable product to be sort of where they're supposed to be. Let's select for our first reference, I'll select this cylindrical surface and this cylindrical surface to line them up. Let me drag this up here just so I can get to the surfaces that I want to constrain to one another. And there we have it, and it looks pretty good. It's got the allow assumptions on because it is capable of rotating. It doesn't look like it's exactly lined up the way that I want. So let me collapse the placement tab. I want to make sure my datum plane display is turned on. Let me go to the components and see, okay, here we have right top and front. I'm guessing, let's see, do I want the datum plane right? Yep, I got the right one from that component. Let me go to the main assembly. Looks like these names are in German. Let's see, I took German in college for one semester, pass fail. Let me guess if it's this one. And constraints invalid. Okay. Let me right click and remove there. Let's try this one. Nope, that's the wrong one. Constraints invalid. And third time is the charm. Oh wait, I accidentally got rid of my previous constraint. Let's see here. Let's do a new constraint. Sometimes I forget to hit that new constraint option from the right mouse button. Let's grab those two surfaces. There we go. Let's unclutter our screen, turn off the datum plane display. So there we have the two components assembled. Let's hit the check mark. And now let's go back to our exploded view. Components are kind of far away from each other. If you want to, you can go into the view manager. Here we have the explode tab. Here is the explode state. You can right click on it and edit position. And then let's select our component that we want to move. And then I'm just going to drag it approximately where I want it to be. I don't have to get all super accurate with the motion references, but I just want to be able to see both of them relatively close to one another. Let's hit the check mark, and I'm going to make this wider. Just want to make sure that I have this stored. Let's close out of here. The next thing I'm going to do is set up some reference tags, and you can use the reference pairing table. With this option, you can set up the different reference tags based on how this is placed in another assembly. But rather than doing that, I'm going to cancel out of here, and instead we can set up some reference tags manually. And so I'll go to the reference tag, and when I do that, it says, hey, it requires an unexploded assembly. Let's click the confirm button. And now I will start off by selecting one surface from the frame center component. Then I can hide and then hold down the control key and pick this surface. So that way I've got both of those entities. And now I can go to the properties tag, the properties tab, and change the name. And I'm going to call this the center cylinder, and hit the check mark. And there we have our first reference tag. I'll expand the footer in the model tree so that you can see it. Let's see, let's set up just one other additional reference tag. And I've got this cylindrical surface here where some other components like the rear part of the frame would be assembled. Let's click on reference tag, and then let's grab mirror surface, cylindrical surface there. And once again, I'm going to play my game of hiding one component and then making the other one visible. And the reason I have to do this is because of the way that I have the components arranged. All right, so that surface should correspond, I believe, to this surface over here. If I'm wrong, I can always fix that later on. Let's go to the properties tag. I'm going to call this the rear cylinder, for lack of a better term. And the reason that you're setting up these reference tags is so that when someone chooses the different choices in the options, you want the components to be able to swap out for one another properly. Let's hit the check mark. And so that way I have my first configurable module set up. Now let's start off our configurable product. Let's go to File, New, change the type to assembly. I'll change the subtype to configurable product. And here's the default name. I'm going to call this product motorcycle. Once again, you have the option to use a default template. You can uncheck it if you want to. Here I just want to show you that the templates have CSA in the name. Those are the ones for a configurable, I think the S is for standard, configurable standard assembly. And this one is using absolute accuracy, which is now the standard default in Creo Parametric 7.0. Let's click the OK button out of there. Here you can see that we have our default datum planes and coordinate system. We have our assignments column visible. One thing that I'm going to do, I am going to start off with a skeleton model. Let's go to create component, and I'll choose skeleton model because I am going to need some necessary references for locating other components later on. So let's just make sure that we are using a skeleton that we can place some different datum references and surfaces for locating components later on. Let me click the OK button. There we have our skeleton up at the top of the model tree. Now let's bring in that configurable module. I will hit the assemble button. Let me go to in session, and I know that it is an assembly, and I use the word module in the name. That way I can find it. Let me click the open button, and here we can see it initially located. Let's use the right mouse button to get to the default constraint. Where the heck did everything go? There we are. And now I can hit the check mark, and that way we have our first configurable module located inside. Let's go to the model tree just to expand it in here, and there's the big one, and then this other one looks like it's automatically going to the first component in the simplified rep. Of course, you can go to your view manager, and then we can go to the simplified rep tab. Let's go to the master rep. Let's click the OK button. Now we can see the components overlapping on top of each other in sort of our overloaded BOM. So that is how you can create a configurable module, how you can locate the components, and then start setting up reference tags. Now we've kicked off the configurable product and put in our first configurable module. In the next video, I will create another configurable module and locate it with respect to these components. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindshield.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.